James, hi. Thanks for joining us and taking the time out off your busy day for sure. Can you walk us through the schedule for this extension and what should registrants expect? Is it any different?
Well, the extension will start on October 11, which is the Monday after the filing of certificates of candidacy, and it will run until the end of the month, with the exception of Saturdays, right? But there is another exception. Saturdays are not included in the general run of the extension except for the last day, which is October 30, which will be open for voter registration. So the schedule for voter registration extension is from October 11 to 30. Saturdays not included except the last Saturday. Registration will be from 8 in the morning until 5 in the afternoon. It will still happen at COMELEC offices and in the malls where we do have mall registration. And overseas voting is also extended, but overseas voting is extended from October 1 to 14, 2 weeks, October 1 to 14. So that's what we're looking at right now. And very important to note, of course, that all transactions will be offered. So you'll be able to register as a new voter, you'll be able to transfer your registration, you'll be able to do everything that you used to do during the regular registration period.
Right, so very, very clear. The extension starts October 11. Just to make it very clear for everybody who is tuned in, there will be no registration period during the filing of candidacies, which is October 1 to October 8 and the weekend after that. Is that how it's going to work? Yeah.
That's correct. That's correct. The only Saturday that we're going to be open for registration is October 30.
All right. So actually, James, we just wanted to find out also what were the considerations or what was the tipping point for the COMELEC on bank to approve the extension? Was it, the bills in the legislative that have been passed?
Well, it was really the public clamor. You see, we've been monitoring the public's reaction to the impending closure of the registration period. Didn't really make any sense to announce an extension early. So we were waiting until the last minute to announce it, but ultimately it was the public clamor that we responded to.
All right, that is very, very good to hear. Now, we know that one of the reasons why the COMELEC did not want to, extend voters' registration initially was because this might cause some disruptions to the election calendar. Having said that, now that there is an extension very much in play for almost a month, how will this affect the election timeline?
Well, the concerns of a few weeks ago are still the concerns now. It will still have an impact on our preparations, except that, of course, in every plan, in every schedule, there is some slack time built into it. And the decision was made to use up some of that slack time for this extension. We would have used it for unforeseen circumstances in the future, but again, considering the public's need for an extension of voter registration, we decided to dip into that reserve, if you will, of time and just give it to voter registration.
All right, so that's such a comfort to hear. Now, are you expecting to tap some 11 million more registrants with this extension? I think that's kind of the rough goal. Did you do some computation to see, is this amount of time really enough?
Well, it's not. Well, we're not really going for any hard target, so to speak, and certainly it's not going to go into the millions. The extension really will just make the registration process available to those that we expect will still be eager to register during this extended period. Conservative estimates place it at a little under 300,000, perhaps, that will be able to serve. I don't think that the millions that a lot of people are referring to are actually interested in registering anyway. Year in and year out, we expect that as more people get to register, there are always going to be some people who have no intention of getting signed up.
That is actually also very, very true. Now, on a different topic that I just have to ask, is there any update on the two factions within the PDP Laban Party? When is the deadline or the timeline for the resolution of which faction, it gets to be approved or certified as the actual one?
We're going to have to wait for the filing of their authorized signatories. That's really what makes the issue ripe for resolution. Right now, there is still no controversy, at least from the point of view of the COMELEC, because we understand that while both sides are making all of these pronouncements about being separate from each other and all of that, the fact is they have not yet submitted competing authorized signatories. Therefore, as far as the COMELEC is concerned, there is still just the one PDP Laban. Of course, if they file competing authorized signatories, then that's when issues will be joined, and that's when COMELEC will intervene.
All right, but is there a deadline, an absolute deadline for that, if in case that does happen?
Well, the deadline for the filing of authorized signatories is September 30. That's tomorrow. And again, that's the threshold that will probably trigger the intra-party dispute as far as the COMELEC is concerned. As for resolving it, there really is no hard deadline for resolving it. The issue is a question of fact, and we're going to have to determine the facts surrounding the controversy. Basically, we're going to see if the Constitution and bylaws have been obeyed by all parties, and see where that takes them.
All right, still a ways to go with that topic at least. Thank you so much for walking us through the extended voters registration period. COMELEC spokesperson James Jimenez, thank you for your time this afternoon.